This is one of the last times you're going to hear me talk about this. Denmark Ball, Sweden Ball, and Norway Ball are about to be gone forever. Part of the fun with these plushies is I can only sell them for a limited time. These Scandinavian balls ended up being way more popular than I thought. Check out that top link in the description down below to makeship.com to grab them before they're gone for good. Takes turns conquering and occupying each other's territory since the Bronze Age. Have shared mythology of being enemies and epics about how each other's heroes suck. Their rivalry once caused all of Christendom to split into two. Fight again in WW2. But after all that, they still remain friends to this day. That's how the Italians and Greeks do it. It's all water under the bridge now. Who knows, maybe they'll get into another war in the future and then like 2 years later, meh, we still buddies. These two really have had one of the oldest rivalries in history, but that word isn't even correct. It doesn't even sound right to call it a rivalry. It's more just been like friendly competition, I guess. Your country invents the steam engine 100 years before everyone else. The inventor only used it to spin kebabs. I wonder which country they could be talking about. It also might not have been just 100 years, it could have been 200 years before the Industrial Revolution. Could you imagine what this could have done for them? No, but seriously, I think actually their priorities were in order after all. I don't want me a steam engine, I just want to eat some kebab. Germany reading the Treaty of Versailles. Meanwhile, the Allies in the background. Quite literally doing a troll face right here. The funny thing is they wouldn't be doing a troll face for that long though. Germany was gonna get their revenge in the sequel. Hitler dies. The world, hooray! The Dutch, Hitler dude, what now? What did the Netherlands mean by this? What do you mean, what now?
Wat nu?
What? No. Oh wait, I guess this isn't even Dutch. 1835, you're the best, Harriet. Love you too, Darwin. Cut to 1995. Here's Harriet still being the best. The best only surrounds themselves with the best. So this tortoise was actually born in 1830 and lived until 2006. She ended up being about 175 years old, which meant she was able to meet both Charles Darwin and Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. Now I'm trying to own a tortoise just so I can pass it down through my generations, can like end up meeting my great-great-grandson. Afghanistan is the graveyard of empires. Oh yeah? How about Persia? How about the Mauryans and the Mongols? How about the Kushans? How about the Mongols? And the Timurids even? And finally, most of all, how about the so many other Islamic dynasties that managed to conquer Afghanistan? I like this meme because it goes over all the examples of the different empires that managed to conquer Afghanistan, but I still don't necessarily believe it negates this statement where Afghanistan is the place empires go to die. You momentarily conquer Afghanistan, but they'll be back and you'll be gone. I mean, all these places that were mentioned aren't around anymore. They really did end up in the graveyard. Conquering is one thing, but holding on to it is another. Just ask the US and the Soviets. I'm just a poor mountain tribe. Enter Spain with this new animal. Look, I have horses! I can fight! This is just a brief summary of the Comanche Native Americans. They were way too OP. I've actually looked into this and they were absolutely terrifying. Texas pretty much had their own mini Mongol empire right here. It's not even really a question. They were just the most feared Native American tribe. The reason the Spanish Empire stopped expanding northward was because they were stopped by the Comanche. Taiwan is Taiwanese, little brain. Taiwan is Chinese, bigger brain. Taiwan is Japanese, even bigger brain. Taiwan is Portuguese, mega galaxy brain. A lot of people forget the real OG over here. The Portuguese were actually the first Europeans to reach the island off the southern coast of China back in the 1500s. It's actually still known to this day by some by its original Portuguese name, Formosa. The entire country of the Netherlands, roughly 2 seconds after Indonesia declared independence. Yeah, it appears they weren't supposed to do that. They weren't willing to give up their Dutch East Indies that easily. The Poles, USSR attacked us. The Baltics, USSR annexed us. The Finns, welcome to hell. They weren't gonna make it that easy. It's like the more north you go, it gets even more and more difficult. Poland got eaten with the help of Germany. The Baltics were next, but Finland was gonna be a whole nother issue. It was gonna be a pretty massive thorn in the Soviet Union side, actually. Japanese men in the 1940s being drafted. You want me to explode? Basically, SpongeBob, basically. With a plane included, though. We're gonna teach you how to fly it, just not how to land it. With the king finally dead, the republic is now certain to remain in France. 2 republics, 1 empire, and 2 monarchies in the span of 59 years later. Can we have republic now? No. It's like they literally just speed-runned all the ideologies during this time period. Just wanted to see how fast they could get through all of them. The Ottoman Empire blocking Europe from spices, only to indirectly force them to go and colonize, which made them stronger in the long run. Yeah, sorry Ottomans, you kind of did this to yourself. Places like Portugal, Spain, Spain, France, and the UK were like, okay, we'll just go around you. And then, hey, this stuff out here is even better. And so begins the slow collapse of the Ottomans. Suriname becomes independent. Meanwhile, a third of their population. Adios, says the Dutch. Ultra rare Suriname meme, let's go. Sorry, I might have explained this meme a little bit wrong. This guy right here is supposed to represent a third of Suriname's population becoming Dutch. After this Dutch colony in South America got their independence in the 1970s, they allowed the citizens here to make a choice. They can stay or move back to the Netherlands, and, well, I guess it's obvious what happened. We need more memes about all these three places. They're always like the dark horse that everyone forgets about in Latin America. I guess because some of them aren't actually Latin. The Archduke Franz Ferdinand dressing up as a mummy in Cairo in 1896. Fast forward to about 20 years later, and yeah, the domino effect had already begun. If only he didn't go to this costume party. The moment he did this, he was forever doomed by the ancient pharaohs. He actually doomed all of us, because then WW1 broke out, which led to WW2, which led to the Cold War, which led to everything bad. Don't mess around with those tombs. How many times do the movies have to tell us? Hey, Grandpa, let's go watch soccer. Who's playing? Kosovo, Serbia. With whom? What do you mean, Grandpa? I guess Grandpa here seems to be a little bit confused about the whole Kosovo situation. Let's just hope Austria doesn't play Hungary. He's gonna be real confused then. The United States chillin' by all their purple hearts that they produce for the invasion of Japan. And we are actually still giving out these purple hearts to this day. We made 1.5 million of them because we thought we were gonna have to invade Japanese mainland, which would obviously cost the lives of, well, what they thought to be 1.5 million Americans. I guess instead we decided to just drop 2 suns on them. I guess technically Purple Hearts can be awarded to a wounded soldier, not necessarily oof. WW1 nations ordering new weapons to break trench warfare. I don't care if it goes against the Geneva Conventions. I want it. At this point, things had just gone on for too long. They were just looking to end it. Geneva Conventions are guidelines after all, right? No, I hate you. Keep quiet, infidel. Meanwhile, you're a fool, and you are a barbarian. Want to trade? Yeah, sure. Now that's how you put aside your differences. Vikings are just gonna do what they gotta do. What everyone thinks Vikings look like versus how Vikings actually looked like. They were actually just big and cuddly, and also could do some very horrible things at the very same time if you weren't careful. Not all of them, but they were capable if they had to. On a scale of medieval owl, how are you feeling today? Now, I gotta admit, occasionally I wake up like a 9. I think most often I'm just a 5 though. There are those rare moments though. Sometimes I'm just chilling. I want an owl as a pet. Germany during WW1 taking on literally everyone. Germany during WW2 doing their classic arm salute thing. Meanwhile, Germany during WW3. Here's the thing. Can you really blame them? Look what you've showed in the first 2 images. Not good. They're probably just warning everyone like, do you really want us to come out for another World War? We've kind of caused a lot of chaos in the other ones. How I be looking knowing that common medieval peasants have more holidays than nowadays. And it's not even close to. The peasants had like half the year off, right? 14th century English peasants had to work no more than 150 days a year. Where did we all go wrong? Napoleon's tyranny of Europe is over. He will never come back. Meanwhile, Napoleon, after 10 months, literally just drops the hottest diss track. So crazy they didn't just like oof him either. They decided to send him to another island. Although it worked, it's surprising. What if he came back for a second time? Romans lose 40,000 human lives. You win some, you lose some. Romans lose eagle-shaped lump of gold. Worst day of my life. Well, I mean, you can get more human lives. Where are you gonna get an eagle-shaped hunk of gold? Seems reasonable to me. I've got my priorities straight. Native peoples of the Americas staring at the dogs they spent centuries breeding to fit specific needs due to not having a lot of animals to domesticate. Then very quickly, European dogs introducing themselves. All those generations of work for nothing. Hold up there, buddy. I think you're forgetting the most powerful Native American dog of them all. No one can stop Chihuahuas. I actually didn't even know that we're not 100% sure Chihuahuas came from Mexico though. There's theories that they were brought on from the island of Malta by the Spanish conquistadors, but also we're not sure. There's also other theories that it did come from Toltec people. Hilter Mussolini at the start of WW2. Yo, Spain, considering we helped you out during your civil war, Franco, no. This isn't exactly how it went down, but these memes will always be funny to me. Interesting to see Francisco Franco as an Italian man here. Soviet weapons in the hands of Arabs against Israel. They don't really seem to be doing all that much. Meanwhile, Soviet weapons in the hands of the Vietnamese against the US. It's like that very same weapon can do so much more. We in the US just couldn't dodge it. It's like at first they had literally stormtrooper accuracy pretty much, and then they all became master marksmen. Men wanted for hazardous journey, small wage, bitter cold, long months of complete darkness, constant danger, return doubtful. Wow, honor and recognition in case of success. Men back in 1913, wow, I'm in. That's all you had to tell them. It's like you had to hype it up to be the worst thing ever, and men just got even more excited. I mean, let's not get confused. Sometimes they weren't even men. We were throwing kids in like coal mines. Even they were stronger than us today. When Carthage loses a battle, all our men were wiped out. No, execute this traitor and get a new general. When Rome lost a battle, all our men were wiped out. Great. Do you want me to send another 40,000 men? Meh. Why not? I can use more meat shields if anything. And I want to be a Roman general. Seems fun. Y'all be talking about cancel culture, but back in 500 BC, MFers used to get exiled. They literally told you to just physically leave. Oh, I guess that's where cancel culture comes from. It's an old school pastime. And that's funny because this is actually why instinctually as humans, we all have a desire to fit in. Because if you didn't fit in, you were just told to leave. And that almost certainly meant death. And we did that for like centuries too. We didn't call quits. WW2 veterans, another silly WW2 movie. Let's see how inaccurate this one is. Meanwhile, those same veterans watching Saving Private Ryan. When this film dropped in 1999, it is said that many people had to literally leave the theater. It was triggering too much PTSD. I remember my teacher let us watch Saving Private Ryan when we were like 14. She made our parents like sign a waiver and everything. That D-Day scene is absolutely crazy. Alexander the Great's empire 0.002 seconds after he died. And that is why you need one official error, or don't leave it up for debate. Your generals are gonna all want different parts of the land, and that's gonna just cause chaos. He probably just conquered a little bit too much. The guy should have chilled. Why is Columbus in Barcelona pointing towards northern Africa? Is he dumb? Or could he be pointing towards India? He wants another crusade too, maybe? Oh, he's actually saying, I meant to go that way, but he clearly did not. And big thanks to my patrons. Help, this is the real Drew. I was kidnapped and that's the imposter.
Drew's Argentinian
the slow,
grandpa.
depressing Portugal
Schengen,
Bryton
follow
Is,
amateur
Carmel
Archaeology.
JohnDenver,
KirinoIsBestGirl,
Phresh Animations,
TheGreatRalphy,
the Polish-Lithuanian
Commonwealth.
Commonwealth. His ransom is 5 fillet of
ZaneyBoi,
fish,
and why am I doing this?
308 Negro Royal Lane.